This meeting is a meeting of the school board and the public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There may be time for public participation as indicated by agenda items or as directed by the president. The meeting site is fully accessible. Any person requiring further accommodations should contact the superintendent at the school corporation central office. The meeting will be electronically recorded and will be kept on file in the superintendent's office. A copy of the audio recording will also be available on the NLCS website. At this time, for everyone that's able, if you would, please rise. And Jeremy, would you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and for the record, all 7 members of the board are present. The next item on the agenda is a review and approval of the minutes from July 17th. I would take a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Motion that we approve the minutes as submitted.
All right, Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Miller seconds. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. Motion carries. Next, persons to address the board relative to the agenda. Mr. Van Landingham, no blue cards. All right, moving right along. Next item on the agenda is from the business office, Ms. Fatima Carson.
Good evening. I'd like to ask the board for approval of claims and payroll since the last board meeting in the amount of $4,367,211.91.
All right, have a recommendation for approval of claims and payroll in the amount as cited. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Gilbert makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. King seconds. Any questions or discussion related to the motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approval of the claims and payroll as submitted, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. The next 2 items, one is the second reading of the Neola Food Services policies as presented in your packet, and then the third item is the approval of the Neola Food Service policies.
All right, the second reading has been made available to us. Then I would accept a motion on approval of the Neola Food Services policy.
I'll make a motion that we approve the new food service policy.
All right, Mr. King makes a motion.
Second.
Dr. Miller seconds. Questions or discussion related to the motion? All right, hearing no questions then, all those in favor of approval of the Neola Food Services policies, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Carson. Next item on the agenda, Human Resources. Mr. Unger.
Good evening. Start with number 1, approval of the personnel agenda as presented to you.
All right, have a recommendation for approval of the personnel agenda as submitted to the board. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
All right, Mr. Gilbert makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Soakland seconds. Any questions or discussion related to the personnel agenda?
I have a question. On the second page of the top, it's got Shawzick Elementary second grade teacher.
Yes.
So, in the June meeting, we had the same person listed under information as transferring from second grade to third grade.
Yes. She's also recently received and completed all of her certification to move her into a regular full-time teacher contract.
Okay. And in July, she was transferring from third to second.
Yeah, she was, like I said, she had came in, they used her as a long-term sub, and then after that, they were going to keep her, and so they were transferring around to grade levels as they needed based off other transfers and needs. Also, we wanted to make sure, though, I know it looks weird that we're putting her in the section kind of as a new hire, but this is to establish she's now all the way certified, and we're putting her on a full teacher contract.
Thank you.
I have a question. For like resignations, do we have any type of process to, maybe not for everybody, but maybe more for teachers, administrators and stuff like that, to find out why they resign? Is there like an off-boarding process?
We have, and in the past we
Exit
have done some
interview.
exit surveys. We send them a thing, they can do it digitally or actually interview, and then some of them too, based off situations, sometimes we've been a little more assertive in seeking them out to try to find out, because we wanted to spot cultural trends.
Yes, that's kind of what I was asking.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah, we have, and sometimes we put that in for patterns, to then look for, because, sometimes people have different reasons, but we also try to look for repeated patterns as opposed to just that.
Thank you.
All right, any other question or discussion related to the personnel agenda? All right, hearing none, all those in favor for approval of the personnel agenda as submitted, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 2, approval to create the following positions: Accounts Payable Grants Management Coordinator, Special Education Operators Coordinator, Data and School Information Coordinator, and B&L Registrar Coordinator.
All right, have a recommendation to create the positions as cited. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
All right, Dr. Miller makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Collier makes a second. Questions or discussion related to the motion?
Yeah, you can ask us.
Yeah, I was just going to see, do we have jobs that are similar in this?
Yeah, this is, and there was a brief information sheet. We did this with the HR coordinator position and also the benefits coordinator position. And now we've also done it with payroll. And part of it is we're trying to flatten the layers, especially as we anticipate cuts in operations. And so we're trying to retain people in these positions and then also absorb some other job duties into this. And so with these new positions and then the extra pay, we're doing some of that transferring, and then hopefully to ensure that we keep those people, develop them, and then create efficiencies. Because we're trying not to add to headcount, obviously, at this point. And so in some places, we even have to absorb,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yep,
And,
it does.
yeah,
So clarifying, you're not adding to headcount with these positions.
no.
So these are new positions, right?
They are
creating new positions.
Well, in part, that's expanding current roles. Like I said, we're trying to absorb positions and also give those people a little more autonomy and agency in those roles to make those kind of decisions.
So that it's not based upon a need, but it's based upon the desire to create new positions.
I would say it's based on the need of what we have coming with the cut in operations, yes.
Okay.
We can't keep adding people. And also, another thing that's been very costly to this district has been the turnover. And this is also the hope kind of, so the thing is, when you got somebody learning something, it takes longer for them to go. So then they need more support. But if you can keep somebody in payroll for a while, which is full of all its nuances, you don't have other people having to run. So your benefits coordinator doesn't have to do some of the usual payroll. Your other people don't. And so it's been a problem, it's been a positive feedback loop kind of too, where, it pulls on each person away from their jobs. and what
So
they
these
need to do.
positions of accounts payable and grants management and registrar, we've had a big turnover in these positions?
Oh, we've had a lot of turnover in central office the past 5
Yeah,
years.
we've had a lot of turnover.
We've had
everywhere,
50
but-
different people turned over from central positions in 5 years. And it creates a burden.
But it says here that you want to flatten the organization, but then you're talking about elevating roles, and you're talking about creating a career ladder. So if you're elevating and using a ladder, how are you flattening? I mean, you're adding a position.
Are we eliminating people?
No, we're not eliminating people. We're trying to, again, have these roles where we don't have to add more people. So like when we did this with the HR, there was, they tossed around, people, but the idea was, let's not keep adding to head count and just doing this kind of rotate. Let's try to retain people and then also lower the number of people than we need. And again, as you look at your job descriptions, some of those have been expanded out to do more crosswalking across other departments to help with that too.
So you want to add a position and move somebody up into it that's here now? Or are you going to compete?
Yeah, we want to
fill it?
expand the position and then transfer somebody here into that expanded position.
So you have like accounts payable, grants management, that's like two totally, well, not totally, but they're kind of different.
Yeah, these are in
Disciplines.
different areas. So the first step was to actually create a coordinator band to start to do this across different places. So sometimes there's even going to be in the future, directors are going to retire or leave, and then the coordinator is going to be the one that's actually, and then that's also subsetted to someone else.
But right now, we have somebody who does accounts payable.
Yes, and all these
And we
people
have-
can be
okay.
transferred into these new roles as
So-
part of a promotion and transfer.
So this talks about accounts payable for the curriculum department. Is it going to be just specifically for the curriculum department?
Yes, and that role is already being filled with some of that. And that's where, like, some of these monies, too, come from different parts, right? So, for example, special education will come from some of those funds, I think. You look at the B&L registrar, still can come from the education fund. Some of them will be from the operations fund. Yeah.
Well, so you have job responsibilities, you got like 27 different job responsibilities, and it's like 10 of them are related to the positions, and then it says here that's a higher decision-making, and you have some entry-level duties included with this.
Yeah, well, yes, there'll still be some of those that might be considered entry level, but also as it moves up. So this was sent out to the directors to see if they had positions that might fill the quality. So we went back to the support staff book that was approved, the coordinator level of the definition and the pay bands for that, and said, do you have anybody that might do that? Rather than adding to head count, maybe we can start to do these types
Right,
of things.
so we talked to our directors, administrators,
Mhm.
not to see if they had a need, but so we can create these positions. Right?
No,
So
I asked
we're
them,
creating
is there a
positions.
need with that? I mean, that was the understanding. I gave them all the definitions. I said, this is why we're looking to do this. Again, this is starting to anticipate. I mean, we're going to have to make operations cuts in the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, or even before, but we need to start planning out, thinking
Well,
about
that's
these.
my biggest concern is
Right.
we're elevating and adding, and then elevating the cost, right? And then that has an impact on operations fund.
Yeah, but also so we don't
And that
have
is-
to.
that is decreasing, right?
But as we go over time, like I said, we're also going to, as people, there's attrition, those people aren't going to be replaced. And so we need to start making sure that we have a path for that.
For the special education operator, we have a special education director.
Yes,
And then in May, we transferred the principal from Shoswick to the assistant.
that's
special
assistant.
education.
This person's a coordinator that helps with the coding.
So we
the
need
numbers.
2 directors and a coordinator? Is that not
I don't-
adding?
Yeah, but I
Cost.
also think a district our size that's not in a special ed co-op, that's not unusual. In fact, most of them have some kind of structure like that to help do that because
Back prior to the consolidation,
Mhm.
at Killed, we supported 8 schools, and we had 1 director, and everything worked efficiently, and it was successful.
well, there was a lot of people, not just that one director. There was quite a few people that was on that.
Well,
And a lot of them,
absolutely. And we
and a
still
lot
have
of them
those
went to
people,
other
though.
districts to work.
So now we're going to have 2 directors and a coordinator for the special education. We'll still have the people
Yes.
that are working, right?
Yeah.
I don't see how that's not adding to the operations funds or amount.
Well, I would say in that case, yeah, you've added more directors, but also it was something that, I mean, that the special ed program, we looked at empirical evidence and issues, it wasn't working, and part of that was, then we looked at other models, if you were not part of a co-op, you had several layers that were also helping to coordinate that across the district.
We have that data that it shows it wasn't working.
Well, financially, it wasn't working. We have the money that was recovered just the last year with the director sitting right there. I mean, without these layers, the amount of mistakes that was going on here prior to her hire, and we changed this, was astronomical amount of money. 600,000, what was the other one? I mean, it got into big money that was done,
Yeah.
done incorrectly here after we went out of the co-op.
So So specifically,
What was that layer? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask Ms. Carson and Ms. Swingo, specifically on that one, Special Education Operations Coordinator, do you feel that is a needed position?
She's my right arm. I could not have done all the digging and the settling of the financial piece without her. She has access to the FMS program, and so she did a lot of digging for me that saved Fatima from having to do it. So it saved time, because I would have had to have asked Fatima to do that, but my person was able to do that, and she helped me to help save the school system $600,000, $300,000 two different times,
Thank you.
and another $50,000 for another situation. So she has been my right arm. I could not have done it all without her.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I echo that, like what she does for us in terms of keeping track of the finances for special ed starts from the moment we hire someone, making sure they're in the right line, that we move them to the new grant money at the exact right moment so everything balances out. And she's really developed the kind of expertise I need, so when she says, Fatima, it's time to switch their pay item, can I do it? I look at her records and everything matches up. So I think it's a lot to ask someone for kind of entry-level pay to do that level of detailed work. And the team that we have has really grown and developed and helped us solve all of these problems. And they're always willing to take on more tasks, and there's even more cleanup ahead. And they're doing it. Like, they're getting the reports, they're making a match, they're filling in all these other gaps programmatically that I don't know about, but they're making that side work. And I think on the finance department, when I took the position, it took me a while to figure out where some of the gaps were, but some of that was from attrition, like both the treasurer and deputy treasurer left at the same time, and we didn't backfill the deputy treasurer in terms of an extra body. So that job went on to Eileen, who is all of accounts payable. So for the grant coordinator role, Angie is in that position right now as an assistant, and she takes on a lot of the purchasing for the schools, but also tracking that all the title grants and everything else are matching up financially. So it's a role that someone was doing in the deputy treasurer role before, but now she's filling that in because Eileen still has to do all of accounts payable. So I think we're going to see more and more with the operations cuts that we need to make, that we're going to cut roles, or like attrition will happen, and we need to backfill those responsibilities. And as we do that, we need to invest in the personnel and say, we're asking you to do things in your job requirement that you've never done. Like, Angie's the only person that got from Paul Gabriel like a perfect score on her helping close all of those funds you rebalanced. She's the one that actually helped me do it in the computer. So I think there's definitely a need.
Yeah. And by, retaining this experience and expertise, we have less mistakes, and that saves us money.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously experience. So on qualifications under the accounts payable grants manager and the special education coordinator, it really doesn't list experience in those areas. It says a familiarity.
Mhm.
So I would hope that the qualifications would show that we need people with. I mean, that's what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah, well,
We want to
that's
retain people that know about it, but
Right.
then the qualifications doesn't mention experience in those areas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a lot of things with school districts, starting even from, we're not an accrual budgeting system, we're cash. So that leaves a lot of CPA. Like, there's so many nuances. You could be an excellent CPA at a private company and come in and you'll pull all your hair out dealing with schools because there's so many nuances from everything of policies to schedules. I mean, it's just a lot of things that are so different that we have to manage. And, you do have to have, not one person can know all this. Like, Fatima has done a great job as CFO, but my gosh, all the little nuances and intricacies of special education, you do need somebody to build the experience and expertise in that to do this digging and find those things. And, it is a certain level of skill that gets developed. And when you leave, if those people leave, a lot of times you're stuck because then you got to get somebody in and train them, and it'll take months, years to get them up to whoever left.
Right. Well, and I'm saying it makes sense if those nuances and that skill and
Yeah.
things were listed as a qualification.
Oh,
It's just opposed to.
well, that's what we're wanting to, and we're trying to
But
do a
it's
better
here.
job on the job description bank. Like, all of these were pretty well fresh because the old ones, I mean, they just don't even apply. So even as we revised this and made these new suggestions, and then we're holding on to these and going back, you guys were talking about evaluations tonight. we encourage this to be something that's reviewed with their hiring manager or their principal or, their director, and then they actually evaluate with these things, So I know like now when, after you approve the HR coordinator and benefits coordinator, I used that job description you approved. I did use our core values of integrity, empathy, transparency, and staff service and ranked them with that too. But, that's the idea. We're also getting a little more defined and formal in what expectations are for everybody in the corporation and who actually does what, but then also be able to have some kind of knowledge transfer when we need it as well.
An idea with the new, I guess, salary ranges, what the impact would be in terms of the hit to the.
I think that will, after you approve this, we'll get a little more definition around that. There's the bands, which I might have included. I don't remember if I included that, but it's in the support staff book. If not, there are the different bands, and so I think people will fall in those different levels. So
Okay.
I can't give you a definitive, but after we nail that down, and I'm sure Fatima can put projections with that we can.
Yeah, well, and we're looking at it right now, so that fit right in.
Well, sure, but we're also going to bring the people the next month to say these are the people that for those positions.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the creation of those positions as cited, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Unger.
All right, now on the last one, we already have a differential for our special ed self-contained inclusion assistance. We've also looked again at data. We've had more turnover, for self-contained. We've also had a lot of turnover with our inclusion instructional assistants, and because it is a different job, one of the comments from the principal was sometimes they just don't know even what they're getting into because they think it's just a normal instructional aid position. It's not, and so then they leave after a short period of time. So for number 3, I'd like to ask for approval of a 75-cent differential for inclusion instructional assistance.
All right, have a recommendation for a 75-cent differential for inclusion instructional assistance. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the differentials.
All right, Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second? All right, Ms. Miller seconds. Questions or discussions related to the motion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Unger.
Thank you.
Okay, item G on the agenda, special education. Ms. Swango.
Good evening. I have 4 items that I'm asking for approval for tonight. The first item, excuse me, is for the professional services agreement with IEP Therapy. I had a speech language pathologist resign in the spring after school was out, and so I had to hire a new one. Speech language pathologists are hard to find, so I had to go to a contract company for this, and that's what this is.
Okay, have a recommendation for approval of professional service agreement with IEP Therapy. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Dr. Miller makes a motion. Do I have a second? All right, Mr. Gilbert makes the second. Questions or discussion related to the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item I have is for, excuse me, it's an approval of the outreach service agreement with iHear Teletherapy.
All right, have a recommendation for a service agreement with iHear Teletherapy. Do I have a motion? All right, Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Miller seconds. Questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item I have is to approval for Kelsey Pace, my assistant, to attend the asset program boot camp. That's in Franklin on August 26th and 27th.
Okay, motion for Kelsey Pace to attend this asset program. Do I have a motion? Mr. Gilbert makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. King seconds. Questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. And my final item is I'm asking for approval for myself to attend my iCase fall conference in Muncie, September 24th through 26th.
Okay, have a recommendation for approval of attending this ICASE conference. Do I have a motion? Ms. Miller makes the motion. Do I have a second? Mr. King seconds. Questions or discussion related to the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Swingo. All right, item H on the agenda, secondary curriculum, Dr. Miller. Dr. Aaron Miller, I should say.
Good evening. I'm here to request approval to attend the National Association for Gifted Children Conference in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on November 13th through 16th, and I'll be traveling on the 12th. It'll be paid through the HAP grant.
Okay. Motion for recommendation to attend this National Association conference. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
All right, Ms. Miller makes the motion. Do I have a second? Mr. King seconds. Questions or discussion?
Congratulations as the award winner.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, any questions, any other further questions?
Are you staying for the Steelers-Bengals game?
I hadn't planned on it.
All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. My next one is an approval of the NLCS local test security policy. We're required to do that just to update it every year and put it through board approval. So it's just an updated form.
All right, have a recommendation for approval of the NLCS local test security policy. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Dr. Miller makes the motion. Do I have a second? Ms. Miller seconds. Do we have any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Miller. Item I on the agenda, technology. Mr. Housel.
Good evening. I would request approval of a new 5-year copier lease with Toshiba. Chris Copenhaver and I walked all of our buildings in May with Toshiba, and Toshiba reevaluated our fleet. In the new lease, they're offering 10 new machines, moving some of the older machines off of our contract, and they're increasing our printing allotments, lowering our overage costs, and even with all that, this new lease would decrease our monthly payment by almost $400 a month. So,
All right, very good. Have a recommendation for approval of this 5-year lease with Toshiba. Do I have a recommendation, or to have a motion? Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second? All right, Ms. Miller seconds. Questions or discussion? What's the total number of printers across our buildings?
that's a great question. They're all on in the packet. The page that looks like that.
Okay.
That's every machine we have in the corporation,
Okay.
and where they would be going. So which are new machines? So there's 10 new machines on there, and so.
All right, very good. Any further questions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Housel. Next up, item J, Mr. Yancey.
Thank you. We are asking approval of an overnight stay in Carmel, Indiana on August 10th through the 11th, 2025 for the B&L girls golf team.
Okay.
And I gave this approval prior, so, but I still have to have,
That was-
I still have to have board approval.
Okay, have a recommendation for motion for approval for the golf team to stay in Carmel. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Sokeland makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Miller seconds. Questions or discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. We are asking approval of amendment to the 2025-26 B&L and NLCC student handbook. That's on page 19 and page 10. And I'll read that to you real quickly. It's in your packet. On page 19, on the wireless devices, we'd like to say all students' cell phones and personal devices should be powered down. So we're adding personal. then we're making a statement there that states students issued Chromebooks will be allowed in classroom for instructional purposes under a teacher's supervision.
Okay, have a recommended amendment to the 25-26 student handbook as read. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second? Dr. Miller seconds. Questions or discussion related to the motion?
I guess I have a question. Why, so our handbook is, I guess, maybe more restrictive than the law. I guess, why aren't they allowed to use their cell phones during non-instructional times such as study halls or passing periods? Do you know that?
Well, we were trying to eliminate the use of cell phones in the district, so we came to the compromise at lunchtime. And so far, it's been working very well, especially at the high school. Because already at the junior high, the phones are not out at all.
Well, yeah, this is, I mean, we're
Yeah.
only amending for the high school anyway, right? I mean, that's.
Right.
But yeah, so, yeah, I'm just referring to the high school, not the grade schools or middle school. I don't know. I just think there's no reason for ours to be more restrictive than the.
What was the reason for not wanting them during like a study hall or passing period? I mean, did the teachers say, was there a,
I was just trying to create a culture where we're back into academics and not addicted to that cell phone that's constantly being used in our society. That's the truth. I mean, most school corporations are looking at reducing the cell phones in our schools. So
that might be fighting a losing battle though, given the world in which we have.
yeah, we're winning so far, so we're making headway.
On day 5. 6.
There are a lot of corporations, across the country that are doing that and finding very positive results, academically and socially.
And it was,
mental health wise.
I was able to be at the high school for Mr. Canada had to be out for a funeral, so I went to all 3 lunches and did supervision. And I can tell you, even at lunchtime, there was less phones in the last 2 years I've had lunch with the kids. So it's nice to see that there's actual communication verbally than just on a device or being. It's sad when you see a child at a lunch table by themselves and all they're doing is on that phone. But they can have them out during lunch. That's not. But I've seen less of the cell phone use during lunch.
And that's great. I like the fact that they don't use their cell phones at school, but I feel like they should be able to use it during passing periods if they needed to. Like I say, it's great that they don't use it,
Yeah.
but I think they should be able to have it and use it if they need to in passing periods and at lunch and before and after school. And definitely not during class unless the teacher says it's okay. I mean, we have to trust our teachers to make those decisions. So I hate to see that we're being this restrictive. Like I say, I love the fact that we're not letting them use it during class. That's
Yeah, I think I agree with the passing period issue. There may be a need to text your parent for something that you need, and otherwise you're going to have to disrupt and go to the office and go, when I agree that 5 minutes is not much for them to be able to use it. Whereas I totally agree about the class, but I think it would be nice for them to, if they did need to contact their parent for something. Because right now, what do they have to do? They have to go to the office and come.
Here we go to the office.
Yeah.
Well, if you're downstairs, you'll be going upstairs because I don't get service downstairs at the high school.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of steel and a lot of concrete, so. There is another issue that Lacey and I spoke about today that I'm going to have to write a note to Mr. Canada. For example, IU registration on Canvas. You have to get into your account. You can't get into your personal account on our Chromebooks.
Right.
So, for example, I always have a 2-step process. So when I'm logged out of my computer, it sends me a code to my phone to be able to get in. This also happens to the kids so we're going to have to allow that to happen. So we can either adopt that in the policy here, or I can write a letter to Mr. Canada that says we can do this. Because that's common sense. The kid has to have the cell phone to be able to get the code to get on.
Right.
So,
And I knew that had come up in several of the college classes,
Yeah.
that they have to get on their personal device for.
and I
whatever
think
reason.
when there is an exception also at the Career Center with the fire class, they come over here to this apparatus that they smoke people out. I've never been in it, but they also need their phones there for an issue. I told Amy that's school related. She can give them permission to use their phones there. That's needed in the class. But again, I think the principal has that right to decide what's academically in that school that's a true need and can.
Question. In the B&L handbook, the high school handbook, it also shows, whether there's a change to the phone number or email for reporting absences. Mine is highlighted yellow, my printed copy. I don't know if that was left over from the last,
It was probably left
page
over.
31, I'm sorry, page 31. I don't know if that was left over from the last update.
I don't have it.
Okay.
I'll have to look
It
it
has
up.
to do with the hotline for reporting absences. I don't know if that was something new based on the new law.
Excuse me, Mr. King.
Okay.
Mr. King, we're writing it down. Is it the B&L handbook you're
It's
on?
in, I don't think it's in the Career Center, but it's in the B&L one. It's on
Okay.
page 31 under
Page 31.
reporting absences. So it might be it just didn't get cleaned up after the last. And if it's right, well, if we prove it, then it's okay. But I just had a question.
Yeah, so basically, I think teachers should be able to approve the use if it's for educational purposes. We should be able to approve the use of
Absolutely.
personal devices in the classroom. Teachers should be able to do that.
Yeah, they're doing it.
So the proposed change, just for clarification, proposed change is not, we have started this school year already with this policy in
right.
place. The proposed change is the added addition of personal devices, which probably means like a smartwatch or something like
Yes, sir.
that. And then it clarifies that Chromebooks are indeed allowed for
Yes.
instructional purposes in the classroom.
Because I
So-
thought that was implied since we paid for them.
Right. So we're not debating here
No.
whether or not cell phones should be allowed all the
Yep.
time in the school. We've already voted that.
Yeah, just these changes.
Yeah. So you say, Mr. Yancey, that you would provide a letter of clarification to
For
the
the-
principal.
Yes, especially on the IU registration and the two-step verification for the dual credit classes. That has to be.
Right. Is there a permissive method, I should say, an approach in along those lines in terms of a clarification letter to emergency use or something like that that a principal or a teacher could allow?
I think it says emergencies. Doesn't it say that?
Does it already say
Yeah,
emergency?
it has that already. But that's obvious.
I would hope in an emergency, they would use it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you feel like it's already covered, then
Yeah.
that's fine.
I mean,
I think what's not
Okay.
covered in there is if, they need to contact home or something, like I had a nosebleed
Jesus Christ.
and I need a new shirt.
well, they would do that at the nurse. They can go down at the nurse and do the contact there. I mean,
That was a bad example.
yeah, I know.
My kid has nosebleeds.
This policy,
Statute.
it requires that the student be allowed to use a wireless communication device in the event of an emergency or to manage the student's health care.
Okay, so that's in the law itself.
It's in the
Okay,
law, yeah.
all right, very good.
It's covered. Yeah.
It's just not in our handbook, but the law allows it, so.
We can't supervise.
Okay. Further questions or
Mr.
discussion
Parson.
related? Did we make a motion on this?
Yeah, we're in
Okay,
the
yeah,
discussion.
all right.
So we really probably need to adopt what he just read, amend this.
I don't have a copy of the policy you're looking at in front of me. so-
That's the handbook, so it's right here.
Should we?
I think we
well,
should put
let's
that
table-
line
let-
in.
I'm sorry, let's vote on this
Okay.
and we can add. Yeah, I agree. All right, further questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of amendment of the handbook as proposed, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Hang on, just a second. It does say students with permitted IEPs, 504 plan, and healthcare plans may have permission for cell phone access.
That should clarify it then.
Yeah, so that part's covered.
But it doesn't say
I-
emergency.
It doesn't, but it capitalizes healthcare plan, which sounds like a formal thing, so
Yeah, right,
I would say we
versus-
probably do need the emergency message.
Print it out as well.
Emergency.
So I can
It does
add
cover
that,
that part of it.
so I can add that.
I would add that, or
Okay.
recommend we add that as an amendment to,
I'll put
For
it
the
there.
law.
We're done. Keep it up. Thank you. We're on number 3. We are asking approval for a payment to Steve Underwood for the 22-23 contract reimbursement.
Make a motion.
all right, yeah, sorry. I have a recommendation for, payment as listed, do you have a motion?
I'm gonna make a motion.
All right, Mr. King makes a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Dr. Miller seconds, questions or discussion related to the motion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. We're asking approval of furniture for Bedford Middle School from Educational Furniture.
All right, sorry, I got lost on my placement. All right, I have a recommendation for furniture procurement for BMS. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
All right, Mr. Gilpin makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. King seconds. Questions or discussion related to the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. We are asking approval of payment for PSG Energy Group for the NLCC Culinary Kitchen and Dollins HVAC.
Again, I apologize. All right, have a motion for the payment as, to PSG Energy Group as cited. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the, payment to PSG Energy.
Okay, Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Sokolin seconds. Questions or discussion related to the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. We are asking approval of Phase 1 LED lighting upgrades to B&L and NLCC from the PS Energy Group. This will be start being installed in fall break. This is again as part of the bond we just passed.
Okay, have a recommendation for approval of LED lighting upgrades for VNL and NLCC. Do I have a motion? All right, Ms. Miller makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. King seconds. Questions or discussion related to the motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. Do you want me to go through the FYIs at this time, or?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So we, in your packet or on your computer, we gave you the iRead test scores for 2025. I do want to thank our K through third grade teachers that worked extremely hard over the years to help our young students learn to the fundamentals of reading. And as you can see, we did have some improvement from last year. As you look at some schools, we had some significant improvement. If you take a look at Shawswick Elementary, for example, it went up almost 20 percentage points. If our leading school, of course, was Needmore at 94.4%. You do see some area schools there, results that I just wanted you to take a look. This is all in what's called our scorecard that you're allowed to look at, that you have access to, that has all of our data that we keep. I just thought it was interesting that you just take a look at what's around us and how great our teachers have been doing in the iRead category. So very pleased. And we got still some work to do, but it's nice that I really believe we're a leader in that area from the other schools around us. So the next is a flyer from Questions Persuade, Refer Suicide Prevention Training taking place on August 25th, 2025. The next flyer is about Narcan. We do have Narcan in our schools. Want you to see that flyer. The next is Tackling Chronic Absenteeism with Compassion and Community Support. Here are some of our data from on chronic absenteeism. As you can look through the district from 23-24 to 24-25, we had significant improvements. I just want to pick out one. The middle school had 111 cases in 23-24. They only had 53 cases last year. That's a huge drop. And I think our attendance awareness has been a big, huge part. Attendance matters here at North Lawrence. We want kids to come to school. So I just wanted to show that data to you. I was at Parkview, and a very nice group of people there. Good News Club at Parkview K through 2 every Monday, September 15th through August 27th. I met a lot of nice people that put this on. It's a church group. It's voluntary, but I thought it was very nice that they give their time to our children. Next is the ball safety net. As you know, we're finishing up the project at the soccer field. The cost to put a net across there was $100,000, and I stopped that project, and we did some studying, and I ordered a net for $10,000 that covers about 60 feet. The goal is about 20 feet, so that's 20 of each side. It goes up 10 feet high. That is also where people walk, so you would have to have a pretty bad shot to miss from that, but it's possible. But I think that's more reasonable in a cost for that project, so we went ahead and ordered it. Next is the North Lawrence Learning Center has joined the Early Childhood Cohort Program through the Central Indiana Educational Service Center. Representatives from Playful Pathways, Early Journeys, 2 of our elementary administrators, Ms. Keem from Parkview and Ms. Webb from Lincoln, along with the Early Journeys pre-K teacher and a Parkview kindergarten teacher will participate in this statewide program. The program is initiated by the Indiana Department of Education and Family and Social Service Administration Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning and Head Start to improve the transition for children moving from early learning programs to kindergarten. So that's a long paragraph to say we're now trying to help kids go to kindergarten more successfully. So thought that was neat. And last but not least, the Kelly School of Business and IU Center for Rural Engagement collaboration with North Lawrence Community School Business Office. We're going to have some students come here to help us, and we got some projects for them. So I think everyone knows the Kelly School of Business is one of the top business schools in the country, and to have this intellect come here to help us, Fatima and I have spoken about some major projects that I think it would be nice to have an outside look that has no bias. So we're going to use their services, and we want to thank IU. That's a tremendous gift.
Would there be any way to incorporate we have some business classes out at the high school or the LCC to throw them in with the college students one day or something like that? That'd be an interesting combination. You guys can do a little mentoring or something.
Well, they're going to have fun to learn about school government and finance. They're going to find out what the true financial world's like when you deal with school finance. I do want to, again, thank Miss Lair for the yearbooks. Just an outstanding job. And I would like to read a letter from John Hudson. He's the principal at Needmore Elementary. He wanted to be here tonight, but something came up, and it was so well written, I wanted to read it to you. I want to take a moment to publicly thank Mr. Zollman and our incredible NLCS custodians and the entire maintenance department for their outstanding work over the summer. With so much construction happening in our buildings, it was no small task to get everything ready for the first day of school. The countless hours you put in, often behind the scenes, made all the difference. Because of your dedication and hard work, we were able to start the school year with little to no interruption. And our students and staff walked into a clean, safe, welcoming environment. We are truly grateful for all that you do. And I want to just say, I was at Shaw's Wick quite a few times here the last few weeks. It's remarkable, the staff and the teachers and the people that work for us here at North Lawrence. We are truly blessed. And anyone that saw the construction that we tried to accomplish over the summer, and to get this done to start school, and we still have a year left in this construction. It's truly an honor to work for these people. It is a gift from God that we have these individuals that care for our kids and put in the time they do. So I just want to say thank you. Also, Mr. Guy Rumsey, Performing Arts Center dedication ceremony, I wanted to give you a date. You will get a formal invitation. We're looking for October the 3rd at 6 p.m. We're going to have music selections there from our orchestra. Also, remarks. Mr. Rumsey is going to be present, so we're asking for alumni. It should be a neat time. The PAC is a real blessing here at North Lawrence, and you allowed us to do some major upgrades electronically, and it's really turned out well. I'm really proud of that area, and it should be a great night to show off what we can offer and what our future could be at North Lawrence in the arts and music department. Also, we're starting negotiations, so we have to have a public hearing. You do not have to come to the public hearing. The public hearing starts the formal collective bargaining for the teacher's contract. It allows the public to have testimony regarding our teacher compensation. This will be Tuesday, August the 19th at 5 o'clock in the administration building. I will run the meeting. It will be taped. Lacey will be there with me. Also, Yancey will be there, and Steve and Fatima, and usually last about 3 minutes. But we have to start this process, and we're really looking forward to the negotiations this year. Also, I do want to show you our favorite items are back. This is the Neola packets. This is the first wave. I asked, again, Mr. King to help me because I have to have a board member be present to go through these before we take. If somebody would like to help us, we would take volunteers to help us. We have another packet coming in a few months, so this is just the first start because the legislators did a lot of law changes up there in Indianapolis. So we have to update them, so I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's coming.
I'll need a contract before we start.
And that should be it. And we had a great start of school year. So
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Yancey. One thing that we had batted around earlier in the year and really towards the end of the last school year was kind of a state of the corporation address, I guess, for lack of a better term. But with your reading scores here this evening, you reminded me and some of the other good news stories that you had said that maybe October might be a better time for that due to some of the numbers coming out.
We'll have the high school data in October.
You'll have the high school graduation data in school.
And you also, the budget is coming.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see our budget for the public. There's a lot of good news in our budget, but there is some changes in the law that's going to bring some challenges to every school corporation in the state, and that's in the operations fund. So
could we anticipate then for our October meeting or somewhere
small,
thereabouts?
we can go over, especially our scorecard where you can look and we can talk about the data and where we're looking to improve.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you so much.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Yancey?
Thank you.
All right. Next item on the agenda is persons to address the board on topics not relative to the agenda. Anything else, David? Oh, Logan, okay.
Got a few questions, everybody. So I didn't know on Mr. Yancey's part number 3, just if we could get some clarification what that is, what that means. I mean, I don't understand why there's a reimbursement for something that's 3 years old. And then second part, I'll ask this, and on the handbooks. So the handbooks, as it was written and published and put out to everybody, and what needed to be amended was the Chromebooks. It was excluding the Chromebooks from education purposes and stuff, which that's not what it was meant at all. But through the process of this, we had a lot of teachers asking about it. I questioned it pretty hard in our staff meeting myself. I know there at the high school there was people questioning it. Who wrote the policy? That's my question. Was it U7 that wrote the policy? That's what we were told. That's what we were told, that U7 wrote it. So we're sitting back here confused because there's a question there, a question there, a question there, a question there. And it's like, shouldn't they know their own policy? So administrators told us, it was passed the buck to you, that you guys has wrote this. And so I will say on record that I'm disappointed in that. And hopefully those administrators hear that. Because there should have been some teachers, like, I'm not trying to be like teachers or up here or anything like that, but we deal with kids every day, and we know the need for phones. And when I was told you guys that, I was frustrated with you all. I'll be 100% honest. I was frustrated because there are times, like if we go to the farm, if I get written up because a kid posts a picture of a baby calf we have at the farm, write me up all day long. Because I've told my kids this year, they got to be put up or in your backpack. I don't want them out. If I'm talking, it's my time. But if we got something cool in the greenhouse, if we got baby chicks in the classroom, quail, whatever, you want to take a picture to show your mom and dad what you're doing at school, 100% do it, because that's what keeps butts in my seats in my classroom, is the excitement of it. And the policy kind of excludes that. And I also have a question about emergencies, because to me, I've had kids before that your dog died, it got ran over by the UPS guy, and then you deal with a sad kid the rest of the day. And some people would say that's an emergency. Well, I will be blunt and say the dog is still just as dead at the end of the day, and you don't have a student driver driving home crying her eyes out to go home. And some parents will wait to tell their kids. Some parents will not. And I do think the parents that will go ahead and tell them, the school kind of has to protect those kids sometimes. So emergency
was the other way.
Well, an emergency is, to me, but that we would know that as an adult to be able to contact. If there's a intruder, a violent intruder, that's an emergency. So I think if you're going to,
it could also be a
Child freaking out.
a mental health.
Yes, exactly.
You
for
know,
various
like
reasons that might not go to the-
that aren't at that level. Like I'm having a panic attack. I don't know what to do. I'm not saying that they shouldn't go to the nurse, but there are those levels of like.
but wouldn't you think, like, when I was in school, I guess I'm old, we didn't have cell phones. We had a payphone up by the office.
It's
You know,
different.
that was the thing. And I know it's a different time, but like, that's what, as an old soul, I would kind of think that their counselor, that would be the person they report to. And the counselor, because Miss Baker does an awesome job in the Career Center of bringing up here kids down. And then if there's something else that's needed, contact a nurse, contact a parent. And I think we need to be reasonable about phone usage, but at the same time, it is a different time. You know, so if you guys are going to edit, change anything else, just remember, if you use the word emergency, an emergency to you is not the same as emergency to you, not the same as emergency to you, you know. And so I think wordage matters, because it was said about the policy that the policy wasn't meant to be policy, it was the spirit of the policy. Well, then what's the point of a policy? That was said. That was words that were said.
Who said that?
I'll
Up
talk-
here tonight?
I'll talk. They're not here tonight.
Yeah, and I think that the addition of the emergency that we were just talking about was just to get us in compliance with the law. Is that correct? I mean, that's what the statute
Requires us
says.
to allow phone usage for educational purposes if the teacher allows it.
And emergencies.
Because I think there's educational need. Like, we're at the farm and you're measuring a board. This happened last year, and we're doing our cattle shoot, and we're putting in some new panel boards and stuff. And we were right there in the moment, and I needed to know what the gap was from here to here. Well, the kids have an app on their phone, and they can snap this board right here and walk down to the next and take a picture of it, and it tells you, I mean, and it's very, very accurate, what the board size you need, you know? Like, there's good use of tools, and I think if you're using it for school-based things, that's educational to me. Now, texting and tweeting and all that other stuff, it's not. But I just think, like you said, in the hallways, people using phones, that's problematic if there's a fight or something, kids want a video, and I know the high school had to deal with that. So that may be why they're excluded. That's just my opinion.
So do you think the way the policy is written to allow it for education purposes, do you think your board example measuring, do you think you're allowed to use that and do that right now?
I would hope so.
Okay.
I was told I got upset in the Career Center meeting because I was told that it could be reflected in my evaluation.
If they used it for
could be.
education.
If they have their phones out, period. Because there's no question about, well, nobody's going to come up and say, are you using it for this? If they see the phones, it can be reflected in my evaluation. Well, I'm not letting kids have their phone out when we're talking in class, when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, you know? And there
You're
are
talking about
times,
using it as a tool.
as a tool, as a device for education.
Are there other tools you can use for those instances, though? I
There
mean,
could
you-
be, but on
You
the
as a
fly,
teacher, you could have an iPad
Yeah.
or a phone, and you could take the
you
pictures.
could have
of it,
some of
right?
that stuff, yeah.
And you could have that
those-
app on your phone, right?
But there are
I mean,
times,
But that, right,
but there are times.
But that's the spirit of the, I mean, that's what the policy is for, was, because, you know, it's just, you know, when we did the policies, we met and had meetings and talked about them, but it's just included, I mean, this policy says it's only during lunch because, you know, just because of the data and everything that goes behind it. So for those things, you just need to find another way to accomplish that, and
I think it may be some due diligence on the school's part to define, maybe within the bounds of the school and the career center, what education purposes means. I came from a conference today where QR codes and scanning those with your phone are the standard way by which you retrieve information on a given company or a given technology or enter a portal to do things. So, and I doubt Chromebooks are very have much utility in that sense. So I think it's going to be us collectively ferreting out what education purposes or what emergency purposes really means, because there's obviously the persistent potential of it being misused for any number of other ways in an instant. So, you know, I don't. Whoever's doing your performance evaluation, if they see you measuring a board and you can explain that and how it's related to education purposes, I would think that should be a reasonable explanation.
Well, that was the day one conversation. I think people have relaxed a little bit, but we came in hot and heavy, and it was the board, and this is our policy, and this is what we have, and no teachers sat in. I mean, I don't think Lacey had any input on it.
Does the
like
policy
these new
say?
things.
Does the policy say that it can be used for educational? See, that's the.
Yeah, and I
So-
guess I just assumed. I assumed
So
a
we could
lot,
just-
I guess, when we passed
I mean,
this. I
it's
thought it was gonna
anything
be
new,
like
I mean, we stick to the policy, we see how it works, and we evaluate it.
But I
mean,
think the issue is if you have teachers who are afraid to to have an activity or use something that will help their students learn because it could be reflected on. I think that's a problem.
But
I think
there
that's
are
a big
other ways that you can help you. You know, the guy that came out and spoke on the 4th, you know, at the PAC, he had tons of ways that you can make.
But sometimes you
Classes
can't
more exciting and all
anticipate.
that.
Sometimes
Right,
you can't
the
you
whole
don't have to
board
have a
measuring
phone,
thing was
right?
on the fly.
Right, you
we're
can't
doing
anticipate.
something,
Right.
and there was a gap. We needed an additional board that
Yeah.
didn't fit what the others were. It was on the fly. It
Right.
wasn't. I mean, I got
And
tape
that's
measures.
totally
you
a
know?
legitimate
Exactly,
use.
but I mean, there's
That's a legitimate
alternative
use.
ways to do that than using the cell phone.
Well, if they want to take a picture of a baby cow, they should be able to take a picture of a baby cow. I
Right.
mean, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Let them have their phones use that kind
It's-
So, sorry.
And last year we
You
did a
have to
great
stick to the
collaborative
policy the way it's
project. My
written.
students had the information. They worked with Mr. Harrell's kids. They made these educational posters, and then in the hallway they were hooked out in the hallway, and then the QR code. The kid went up with their phone, boom, and they voted for their favorite. And the kids got pizza for whoever was, or breakfast. I made them breakfast for whoever was the best one. And that was just a quick use of the phone to do that. Now we could put a box out there and we could do the old-fashioned way, you know. But to me, that's an educational purpose. But you don't want to see a kid do this and then walk around and be
Right.
playing on their phone, walking down the hallway or coming back in the room.
Isn't there a digital photography class? Can they use their phones in the digital photography class? But nobody uses digital cameras anymore.
Nobody does that. Yeah.
All right, I believe we have probably busted our 3 minutes allotment.
Yeah, I know. If you make any more amendments, I would really like for some teacher, board, whoever, collaboration on policies
that's
like that, especially if
reasonable.
we're the ones that's got to enforce them.
I think your other question was about number 3,
Yes, ma'am.
about the contract. I think there was an error in paying his contract, correct?
Okay.
When he was the interim superintendent.
Okay.
That's
Fair enough.
And that's, let's face it, we had $2 million worth of errors that we cleaned up before. And you've already okayed those errors that I inherited when I came here. And we're gonna continue to find more as we, State Board of Accounts. As I find something that I think was done incorrectly, we're gonna bring it confront the board. And make it right. So that's why, and you have the calculations, he doesn't, because you make that decision with the calculations that we put together.
But if the board has concerns about, like, I think, or questions about it, do we bring those to you?
Yes, but you
And
can
then-
also, like you have, you bring them up at the meeting where we're transparent.
Okay.
And we've made some adoptions to this, but again, a lot of schools are tightening up this policy.
Well, right, I think we just don't want it to, I think, like what Logan said, is you don't want kids with their heads down, and you don't want a kid at the lunch table, but if it's limiting if it's scaring teachers into doing, I don't think there's any teacher who's gonna say, yeah, get on your phones and look at your phones for the period I'm not gonna teach anything. I hope we wouldn't have that person work here. So, if a teacher thinks that it will elevate the experience or facilitate the experience in some way, I think that the teacher should have that discernment.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else to address the board on items not on the agenda?
Clarify a couple of things, though, I think communication-wise. At the school, in this policy, the original policy, not the amended policy that's in the handbook right now, the original policy, and I was trying to find the original language, but since it's been amended, the original language is gone, raised some concerns because it kept it where Chromebooks couldn't be used in the classroom. And so teachers were saying, how did this happen? And it was like, well, it's board policy, right? Because the board approved the policy to go into the handbook. And I think that's where that comes from. Like, that communication breakdown is, well, it's the board's policy. And then the policy got amended to allow Chromebooks in the classroom, so the new wording is much better and does fix that problem. This is, I think what we're hearing, though, and I think you're seeing, is the communication about how we create policy. Mr. Yancey's right, there's no statute requiring us to be part of that conversation. But 2 years ago, there used to be, right? And so 2 years ago, we were required to be part of those conversations. When the discussion law changed from must to may, it took us out of those conversations. And I think we could solve a lot of these problems if we work together, like Logan said, because we implement these policies. Then we can keep administration from feeling like we wrote a policy that didn't fit.
I assumed you were still a part of it, to be honest, sorry, I didn't realize.
15 years I was principal of the Teachers Association, helped me write the book.
Yeah, I just
It's
assumed
required
you
by
still
law.
were.
They did it B&L, but I'm going to find out.
We appreciate that. So, thank you.
Thank you for the feedback.
All right, closing business. Do we have spotlights and highlights?
Yes.
All right.
Are you ready?
Even a weekend.
B&L High School, Welcome Week was a huge success. Thank you for all of our students and families for visiting B&L. We're excited to welcome our freshman class of 2029 to B&L. The first week of school has been outstanding. A special thank you to all our teachers and staff for making the start of school great. Great Way Academy. We're starting the year with a roster of 42, 36 in-person participants, 6 virtual. 4 of our current students are looking to finish as a 2025 graduate by the September deadline. 26 seniors are working at Gateway currently. 3 credits have already been earned. North Lawrence Career Center. The Career Center is kicking off the school year strong with full enrollments in most programs, reflecting growing student interest and community support. Special thanks to Mr. Al Cook for his dedication and guidance in mentoring our work-based learning students, helping them gain valuable real-world experience. Nemours Elementary. Summer construction finished on time, which allowed us to welcome students back with almost no interruption to learning. We have more classrooms to be completed, but so far everything is running smoothly. Meet the Teacher Night was a wonderful success with families filling the halls, reconnecting with teachers, and building excitement for the year ahead. We are fully staffed, which means every classroom and program started the year ready to serve students. The first days have been smooth and positive with strong routines, high energy, and optimism for the year ahead. Parkview Elementary. Parkview 3 through 6 staff like to say a big thank you for the newly painted foyer, refinished gym floor, replaced window, and the new awning at entry 4. We greatly appreciate it. We're excited to welcome 23 students and families new to NLCS in Parkview. We are looking forward to a great school year and are thrilled that these family students have joined us. Lincoln Elementary. We had a great turnout for our back-to-school open house. Families got to meet their teachers, enjoy ice cream from the PTO, and visit tables with helpful information from Centerstone, the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, and the Boys and Girls Club. It was a fun and exciting way to start the school year. The school's off to a strong start. Our students are quickly learning routines, and everyone is excited to be back. This year, our theme is Growing Together. Throughout the year, we will focus on different areas we can grow and learn as individuals and a school community. Teachers and staff worked hard to make sure the building was welcoming and decorated to match their theme when students returned last week. We're excited about the new window wraps installed on our main entrance. Thank you to our PTO for helping them make it happen. Not only do they make the building look nice, but they also improve safety by limiting visibility into the school. Shawswick Elementary. We can't show enough appreciation for NLCS maintenance and custodial staff for all their hard work getting Shawswick back to form to start the year without a hitch. Their efforts have been nothing short of incredible as the summer ended. Open House had a great turnout of farmers and their families, and thanks goes to PTO for serving ice cream. The Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, and other community organizations set up displays to share information. We want to welcome our new staff to SES and welcome back to all the returning staff. Their flexibility, welcoming attitude, and willingness to do whatever is needed has been appreciated, and we're looking forward to a great year. Bedford Middle School. July 29th, we host our annual open house, and it was well attended. It was wonderful to see our returning cutters back in the building and to welcome our new families to BMS. The positive energy and excitement for the year ahead were felt throughout the day. Our BMS cheerleaders recently competed at the Indiana State Fair cheerleading competition. They represented our school with pride, spirit, and skill. Their dedication and hard work truly showed their outstanding performance. Well done, cutters. Our students are adjusting beautifully to the school year, and our teachers and staff are creating a positive and engaging learning environment. We had a fantastic start to the 2025-2026 school year.
All right. Thank you, Mr. King. Finally, our upcoming meeting, we'll have a regular scheduled meeting on September the 18th at 6 o'clock with an executive session to follow. And with that, I believe we are ready for adjournment. We would accept the motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All right, Dr. Miller makes a motion. Do I have a second? All right, Mr. Gilbert seconds. All those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.